Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. Lucy Letby's lawyer hits out at Cheshire Police after the Force reveals hospital staff could face manslaughter charges. The killer's barrister also says that next week lawyers will ask for the Thirlwell public inquiry to be stopped. Also tonight, the small business owners who say they face rising costs, tax changes and a struggle to survive.
Imagine waking up every morning
to the smell of rotten eggs.
That's our life.
Stopping the stink, we meet the school children campaigning against a landfill site that stops them from playing outdoors. One of Rugby League's fiercest rivalries is renewed in the Challenge Cup with a grudge going back 20 years. Piling on the compliments, the artisan chef from Wigan, who's won 10 prizes at the British Pie Awards.
And Posty Dave captured today's weather perfectly. Some spells of sunshine, some showers around as well. How are we doing for the weekend? Well, I've got a little bit of good news, so join me at the end of the programme.
Lucy Letby's lawyer has hit out at Cheshire Police for announcing that individuals from the Countess of Chester Hospital could potentially be charged with gross negligence manslaughter. Mark MacDonald has accused the police of trying to undermine efforts to stop the Thirlwell inquiry. That public inquiry is looking at how the former nurse was able to murder 7 babies and try to kill 7 more. On Monday, legal teams will claim new evidence casts doubt on Letby's guilt and call for the inquiry to be halted. She's currently serving 15 life sentences, while our reporter Andy Gill joins us from outside the hospital now. So, Andy, just tell us more about what Lucy Letby's lawyer is saying.
Well, Annabelle, you recall that last month, Mark MacDonald, Lucy Letby's lawyer, assembled an international panel of child health experts who looked at the medical records of her victims. They concluded there was no evidence of foul play and the babies probably died of natural causes or because of poor medical care here at the Countess of Chester at the time. That, of course, runs against the verdicts of 2 juries in criminal trials who found Letby guilty of murder and attempted murder. Now, after those convictions, Cheshire Police said they were looking at possible corporate manslaughter charges where an organisation is allegedly criminally responsible. Yesterday, the police said they were also looking at gross negligence manslaughter. That's where an individual may be criminally liable for something they've allegedly done or failed to do. Now, Lucy Letby's lawyer, Mark MacDonald, has questioned the timing of yesterday's police announcement. He says that on Monday, lawyers will say to the Thirlwell public inquiry into Lucy Letby's crimes that it should be paused because, as Mr MacDonald sees it, there's now so much doubt about Lucy Letby's guilt.
21 international experts from 8 separate countries that have written detailed reports that I say arguably make this conviction of Lucy Letby unsafe, and this inquiry needs to pause until that has been properly assessed. That argument's taken place on Monday, and now we have this from the police.
So, Andy, could the Thirlwell inquiry be paused?
It'd be a fairly extraordinary development if it were paused. At the very beginning of the inquiry, the chairman, Lady Justice Thirlwell, criticised those campaigning on Letby's behalf because of what she called the enormous additional distress that it was causing the families. The whole basis of that inquiry is that Letby is guilty, and in its simplest terms, it's looking at how she got away with her crimes for so long. Of course, any legal application to stop the inquiry, it would be down to Lady Justice Thirlwell herself to say yes or no that would happen. The current management here at the Countess of Chester have told us that that application to pause the inquiry has come from former managers at the Countess of Chester.
And what has the Thirlwell inquiry and Cheshire Police said about Mr MacDonald's comments?
Well, the Thirlwell inquiry spokeswoman said today that it'll resume on Monday next week for closing submissions. That's a date that's been in the diary for some time, but she wouldn't comment on what those submissions might be in advance of that hearing. Cheshire Police have said that they're not going to add anything to the statement that they put out yesterday.
Andy, thanks very much, our reporter Andy Gill. Next tonight, businesses across the region are bracing themselves for a big jump in costs in the new financial year at the start of April. Employer national insurance rate is going up from 13.8% to 15% on a worker's earnings above £175. The minimum wage is, the business rates rather, and energy bills are also rising. Some small firms warn they may not survive, and the government insists the extra taxes will help improve public services. Matt Trewern reports.
This is the most difficult time we've had in 27 years.
Tony and the team have been serving up tea and cake here in Bury since the late 90s.
All the cake's ready, yeah?
Not yet.
And now the taxman and others are about to take a bigger slice.
Right.
Our rates payable are more than doubling in April. Our electricity bill is going up by over 30% in April. Wages will be going up around 10% in April, and national insurance will be going up about 10% as well. That's really getting clobbered on all sides. The last thing we want is to see Leconbridge tea rooms closed, and we will do everything to make sure that we continue to thrive, but it's going to be very difficult.
So yeah, we started off with 26 gins, and we've now got in excess of 400 available all over the world, from Australia, Scotland, New Zealand.
Atlas was one of Manchester's original independent cafe bars, another family business with the same worries.
To be honest, I was gobsmacked. I could not believe what was rolled out on budget day.
Rising bills in April will cost Mark at least £55,000 a year.
I'm quite anxious about what that impact is going to be, because it's a huge increase in money going out of the bank account straight away.
The government will say they want to invest money in public services to help things like the NHS, and the money has to come from somewhere.
For small businesses to just literally wipe us out in one go, and you're stifling growth just for this small little business.
The bar here has already cut staff hours and put prices up. Back at the tea rooms in Bury, they may have to do the same. So how do customers feel about paying more?
I do pay a little bit extra here than some of the other places, but I don't mind because it's very nice.
If it's 10p on a pot of tea or 20p on a sandwich, relatively it's a small percentage, but people come in, instead of, say, having a proper meal, they might just have a toastie.
Well, I don't mind because it's all helping your community and everything like that. I love having this kind of thing, so I don't mind.
Whether it's afternoon tea or an evening pint, we can all expect to be paying a bit more come April, but the government insists it will help improve public services. Matt Trewern, BBC North West Tonight.
Well, the government told us it was helping high street businesses by permanently cutting business rates and capping corporation tax. And I'll be hearing from other local businesses and politicians on the issue on Politics North West this Sunday at 10 o'clock. Next, a coroner has raised urgent concerns over regulations in child combat sports after the death of a 15-year-old boy from Liverpool. Kickboxer Alex Eastwood, he had suffered a head injury while taking part in an unsanctioned fight last June. Assistant Coroner Michael Pemberton has taken the unusual step of issuing the report ahead of a full inquest into his death.
The family welcome his decision to do so because they are really keen that the lack of regulation in relation to child combat sports is addressed urgently.
Accrington Stanley Football Club is closing its hospitality suite after losing its licence to stage functions with live music. It comes after complaints from residents living near the venue. The League Two side says it will only open on match days until 7:30. John Lennon's life and career is being celebrated with the launch of a commemorative coin. It's being released by the Royal Mint in the year in which the Beatle would have celebrated his 85th birthday. He follows his bandmate Paul McCartney in being honoured. Now, there are fears over the future of breast cancer screening on the Isle of Man. In England, screenings are offered every 3 years, whereas people on the island get them every 2. The health body on the island, though, has been directed to align its policy with the UK, something that is worrying cancer charities. Alex Blake sent this report.
Karen Wagstaff was cancer-free for a decade before finding out it had returned after a routine biannual screening.
To have that other year, to allow that cancer to grow, I might not still be here.
Karen's experience is an all too common one, but screening practices for breast and cervical cancers on the island have been hailed a gold standard.
You know, we've worked for 14 years as volunteer fundraisers, you know, to make the breast service, cancer services as good as it can be. I'm shocked and horrified that our government have lowered themselves to this.
Currently, any woman over the age of 50 here on the Isle of Man will have a breast cancer screening every 2 years, something that this healthcare mandate looks to change to every 3 years.
The mandate asks Manx Care to implement recommendations from the UK National Screening Committee, which includes decreasing the frequency of routine screening for breast and cervical cancer. But the Health Minister has denied this will happen.
There will be recommendations coming from Public Health. We don't know what those recommendations are. None have been made as at the moment. But before that, obviously Public Health are going to be supporting by doing a review into that over the next 12 months. But currently, right now, there are no supported recommended changes to the screening for any cancer services.
The mandate has a raft of changes, from reducing hospital bed capacity and increasing more private sector collaboration to bring in more income. Alex Blake, BBC North West Tonight, Braddon.
Now imagine walking outside of your home, school or work and being hit with the smell of rotten egg. Not very nice. But it's the reality for the people who live in Fleetwood. A landfill site has been emitting the odour for more than a year, with some people complaining of nosebleeds and breathing problems as a result. For half a century, waste was dumped on the Jameson Road landfill site before it closed in 2017. Then in late 2023, a new operator, Transwaste, took over and began a £2 million of work to bring the site up to operational standards, which meant disturbing an old waste in a cell that had laid dormant for 6 years. Now, the residents first reported the rotten egg smell, thought to be hydrogen sulphide, in February last year. Transwaste said it would be temporary while the upgrade took place, and it is working to resolve the issue. Now, a campaign called Stop the Stink has been underway to close the site permanently, and children from a local primary school are the latest to back it. Let's have a look at what they've got to say.
We all just stand up for what's right.
Imagine waking up every morning
to the smell of rotten eggs.
That's our life.
You wake up,
Open your window and the smell hits you.
it's in your nose,
In your throat.
it's everywhere.
Go outside to play.
Forget it, it stinks.
Can't sit in the garden. Can't play footy.
You can't even get some fresh air.
Because it makes you feel sick. It's disgusting.
We've had it for months.
Months.
How's that fair?
People keep saying something will be done.
But nothing changes.
We shouldn't have to put up with this. If this was in your own house, you'd sort it.
The adults have been trying. They've complained.
And you shouted.
But nothing's happened.
So maybe, just maybe, if they won't listen to the adults,
maybe they'll listen to us.
Strong words. Well, the operator of the site, Transwaste, told us that a new cell which captures gas had started to produce gas at a higher rate than expected, but they had stopped waste deliveries while they worked to seal the cell with a thick layer of clay. The Environment Agency, which regulates the site, said that they wouldn't hesitate to take enforcement action if they didn't see improvements. Now, it's no secret we love eating pies here in the Northwest, don't we? And it seems we're also great at making them. 3 of our pie makers have just won prizes at the British Pie Awards in Melton Mowbray. They're Tom de Terre in Chorlton and Town Street Fryer in Stockport. But king of the pies was Baldy's Dark Kitchen in Wigan, who won 10 awards, as Phil Cunliffe reports.
Pies, pies, pies. When it comes to Wigan and pies, it's a winning combination, part of the heritage. And if more evidence of the town's culinary excellence was needed, look no further than artisan chef Alex Melling. his magnificent 7 pies has just seen him scoop 10 prizes at the annual British Pie Awards.
Every single pie that I entered won an award, 3 of which were double award winners, so that means second best in the country. So it was a pretty good day at the office, really. The menu's changed again this week, so I've got the Uncle Eddie's mince and potato.
Alex used to have his own pie shop, but with energy bills rising, he closed it to go mobile.
And I just come to Windy Harbour Farm Shop now, so I turn up in the van, I sell part-baked products, so these are for your oven at home, and then I also do a lot of corporate and private catering as well.
Why is it called Baldy's Dark Kitchen?
Because I'm follically challenged.
And in a town dominated by traditional pie shops, it's hats off to Alex's gourmet creations.
Different flavours every week. He's really popular. He's popular with our customers, but he's also a good draw for us. And quite often he'll say to me, "Oh, Jeff, I've done this such thing pie," and I'll be like, "I'm not sure that's for me." No, try it. And he always hits the spot.
They're so good, they're delicious. And the husband wasn't a pie man until now, and he loves them too.
So he's been converted?
Oh, he definitely has. Well, he lives in Wigan now.
What is the attraction? Why have you come here?
Just his reputation in terms of some absolutely great pies, and certainly the venison one I'm really interested in.
What is it about Wigan and pies?
I don't know, really. I mean, we just seem to have this reputation of making the best pies and eating more pies than everybody else. We have the World Pie Championships in Wigan as well, so, yeah, I think everybody in Wigan just loves a pie.
And if you can't beat them, join them.
Even the gravy takes 2 days to make, so it's made with beef bones, chicken carcass, pig's feet.
Oh, look at that. That is amazing.
That is fantastic.
Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Wigan.
I love a pie. Do you love a pie, Ian?
Yep, that's why I'm wearing this waistcoat, to hold this in.
That's good. Yes, very good. Yeah, I've got a corset on under here as well. Anyway, you're here to talk about sport and not pies.
No.
We're going to be looking at the renewing of an historic rugby league rivalry in a moment. But first of all, football, possible first trophy for the Liverpool boss?
Yes, possibly so. Liverpool's chance of a quadruple disappeared a few weeks ago, as did a trophy treble when, of course, they were knocked out of the Champions League in midweek. However, a double is still doable. Obviously, that defeat to PSG on Tuesday was a massive blow, but all's far from lost. The Reds, shown here training earlier in the week, are well on course to win the Premier League title and on Sunday can retain the League Cup with victory over Newcastle United at Wembley.
We're really looking forward to it. To playing a final again, because you cannot take a final for granted, especially not in this country with so many good teams involved in every cup competition. And if you are part of it, of course, you want and try to win it, but that's probably what Newcastle wants as well.
Well, Liverpool aren't the only North West side going for a major trophy this weekend, with Manchester City in action in the Women's League Cup final. What a few days it's been at the club, who sacked manager Gareth Taylor on Monday before appointing former boss Nick Cushing as interim manager. Well, this was how City reached the League Cup final when Mary Fowler's late goal gave them victory over Arsenal. They'll now take on Chelsea at Derby's Pride Park tomorrow after a week of upheaval.
Everyone's reaction's been really good. The group's really come together, looked after each other. You've almost got to put your emotions to one side, I suppose, and we've got a huge game on Saturday, and I think quickly, and it was said quickly, the focus has to switch to that.
Now, the Challenge Cup takes centre stage in Rugby League this weekend. St Helens, Salford Red Devils and Oldham of the Championship are all in fourth-round action tonight. Tomorrow sees the renewing of a fierce old rivalry between Widnes and Warrington. Once a standout fixture in the sports calendar, the clubs haven't met in 7 years amid hugely contrasting fortunes.
Big Jim Mills collects, and he's over for a try.
The Challenge Cup final of 1975, and Widnes beat Warrington 14-7 to lift the trophy. Half a century on, Warrington's Super League superstars have recently sampled Vegas. That same weekend, Widnes won away at championship rivals Hunslet Hawks.
I've been speaking to some of the fans and the local people in the last few days, and the excitement, you know, it's like as though we're going to Wembley, really. And hopefully now we've earned the right to have a pop at Warrington. And it's Derby Day, it's rivals, so yeah, really looking forward to it.
This was one of the last meetings between the sides prior to Widnes' relegation from Super League in 2018.
It's a massive derby for us. I've been fortunate enough to play in quite a few of them.
I won half, lost half, so I've had some good nights against Warrington. I'm a local lad, so we're buzzing for it as players and just looking forward to Saturday now.
In 2003, we reported on a controversial pre-derby poster from Warrington's marketing man Sean Mellor poking fun at Widnes's chemical industry.
I'd have thought anyone who lives in Widnes would have a sense of humour. All we've done is drawn attention to a few eye-catching symbols that are unmistakably Widnes. However, if we have offended them, you know, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of everyone here at the Wolves, I'm genuinely sorry.
So far, the poster's only been seen in Warrington, but what do the people of Widnes make of it? Well, we've come to the town centre to find out.
It's an insult to Widnes.
But in a dramatic plot twist, Sean Mellor now works at Widnes.
Warrington Wolves weren't sort of the smooth operation they are now. And a good way to get people's attention was, you know, we thought, a humorous poster.
Humorous, yeah, and you did apologise on our North West Tonight report, didn't you? It felt a bit sarcastic.
Well, I can't help that. Can't help people's impression. However, you know, I like to think that the people of Widnes have forgiven me, you know, in part at least. But great that, you know, these local rivals are meeting again on Saturday.
The feel-good factor around the town's absolutely brilliant at the minute. Fans are coming in, the number of phone calls we're getting every single day about tickets.
What is this worth to Widnes? I mean, how many people are going to be here? How much money is it worth?
We're hoping we're going at 6,000, but in terms of finances, this game alone could bring in more than the remainder of the home games for the rest of the season.
So that's really, really vital for the future of this club, isn't it?
Absolutely massive, yeah. I mean, we've put so much effort into making sure that the ground is fully operational. We've got 3 stands fully open this weekend and hoping that the place is going to be absolutely full.
Well, whatever happened to that reporter from 2003? He was very good.
He's normally talking in our ear every night.
He is,
He's gone
isn't he?
home now.
Yeah.
Howard Booth.
Better behind the camera, I think, isn't he? Now, on to the latest in our 25 and 25 series. We asked you to tell us the places and the people that make the North West a great place to live. And Kay has picked 25 of them to feature throughout 2025.
I didn't know she'd been bothering tonight, but I'm going to find out now. A couple of weeks ago, we were in Ashton in Makerfield with an incredible team at the Hamlet. Tonight, she's with a very different herd.
This place is so special, and the views that you can see are phenomenal. I'm very, very lucky where I live. And as a dairy farmer, sometimes we're very privileged that we get to live somewhere like this, but it's kind of like only we see it. And sometimes I don't see it enough because you get really busy and you take it for granted. But when you get things can get a bit tough sometimes and you just need a moment. If you come up here onto these fields and you just sit, it's like really quiet. It's just a beautiful, tranquil place. I live in one of the most incredible parts of the country. You know, Cheshire East is beautiful. We've got a bit of everything, haven't we? We've got some flat land, we've got some great walks, we've got most amazing scenery, we've got like lovely hills around us like Malcop and Cloud End, Cheshire View. You know, we've got all those places that, again, sometimes when you just stop and think about what you have got, it's phenomenal.
Beautiful scenery aside, what's life really like for a dairy farmer?
Hard work, long hours, can be stressful, depending on what the milk price is doing. So when the milk price is doing well and we're making money, it's the most amazing, incredible business to be in. It is fantastic. We're feeding people. I get the absolute honour and pleasure to work with the most beautiful cows in the world. They are so gorgeous. They are our work colleagues and we love them so much. And to have countryside like this that we look after and take care of is fabulous. So when you come, you can actually come into the farmyard and you can see cows around you, so you see them going in and out and milking. And it's, again, cows having calves. It's something we do every day. We really take it, again, for granted. It's just what happens. It's just our life. But you forget what that can mean to somebody else to see that.
Maternity.
I love those 850 cows.
Oh, no.
And I drank raw milk, which is delicious.
Yeah,
lovely. Can recommend it. Also, I've not picked fully the 25, so you can send me an email, NWT@BBC. I do that wrong every time. .co.uk if you want to recommend a place or a person. Now then, to the weather. Today has been a mixture of a day of sunny spells and scattered showers. Gorgeous picture from Anthony. Thank you for sending that one in. And some decent spells of sunshine in Liverpool. So it really has been a mixed bag. Now, as we head through this weekend, high pressure is going to slowly continue to build in, and that's going to help kill off the showers as we head through the weekend. But it is going to be quite chilly still. Temperatures aren't going to pick up until next week. So mostly dry, the odd shower around, staying still quite chilly, but high pressure builds in. Now, as that scoots over to the east, this time next week, we'll be talking about temperatures more like 16, 17 degrees. So things are on the rise for feeling a little bit milder. Through this evening, if you're heading out, very odd isolated shower. For most, it will be dry and we'll continue to get clearing skies. So that is going to lead to a chilly night. We are going to drop down. I think for some parts of Cumbria, we'll be down to about -4. So we are looking at a cold and a frosty start. Bit of patchy mist and fog out and about as well. But the best of the sunshine will be tomorrow morning. Really lovely spells of sunshine as we go through late morning into the afternoon. We'll start to see cloud increasing. Could bring with it the odd shower. For most of us, though, it'll stay dry. The breeze will be light, so when you get the sunshine, it shouldn't feel too bad under the cloud, though. Still feeling a bit chilly, 9 degrees. Scoot over to Sunday. It's going to be another cold and frosty start. In fact, colder overnight into Sunday. Sunday, we are going to see predominantly dry weather, but there will be more in the way of cloud as we head through the day. Temperatures, though, ever so slightly higher than they have been. I mean, not for some parts of South Cheshire. For Buxton, over in the peaks, 7 degrees. On the Isle of Man, we're getting 10 degrees, 50 in Fahrenheit. Monday is then going to be a cloudy and mostly dry day once again. But the good news is, as we head through Monday, that high pressure that I talked about continues to push over to the east. We start to pull up a southerly air. That's the one that we like the most. We end the week, dizzy heights of 17 degrees. It will be pleasant. That's forecast.
That sounds more than pleasant. That's lovely. Breaking pie news.
Oh, yes.
Bill Bradbury's been in touch. Cotham's Pies in St Helens won Best Steak Pie at that pie contest.
That's amazing
and we didn't
news.
mention it.
Well, we missed a trick.
My tummy is rumbling.
Favourite pie?
Oh, steak, meat. Oh, meat potato.
Pasty. Just a pasty.
Is that a pie?
Some Bolton.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye.
Pasty.